Story 2. 351. My sister got me the job at the call center. It was inbound tech support for a home security company, the kind that sells doorbell cameras and alarm systems to suburban homeowners. The work itself was tedious but simple. The night shift ran from 10 to 6, and most of the calls were either alarm tests or elderly customers who accidentally trigger their own system. You talked them through it, reset the system, closed the ticket, moved on. I worked in a room with maybe 30 other people during peak hours. By 2 in the morning, it was down to 8 or 9 of us, and by 4 you could hear the ventilation system clearly over the ambient noise of keyboards. The office was on the 3rd floor of a building in a business park outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, the kind of building that has a lobby with fake plant and motivational posters nobody reads. Our floor was open plan, long rows of cubicles under fluorescent lights that buzzed slightly at low moments in ambient sound. The windows looked out over the parking lot and a stretch of tree line beyond it. During the day, I'm told you could see a cell tower through the trees. At night you couldn't see much past the parking lot lights. The calls were logged automatically. Every call was time-stamped, recorded for quality assurance, and linked to a customer account. My queue showed calls in the order they came in. I never had reason to look at other agents' queues, but the system allowed it. Supervisors could monitor everyone's calls, and sometimes we'd listen in on each other for training purposes. Around my 6th week, I took a call that I still can't fully account for. It came in around 3:40 a.m. on a Wednesday. The caller ID pulled up a residential account in Spokane, Washington, a woman named Deborah, account holder for about 3 years. When I answered and gave my greeting, there was a pause. Not the typical pause of someone catching up to the fact that the call connected. A longer pause, maybe 4 or 5 seconds, where I could hear breathing and nothing else. Then a woman's voice said, quietly, "Someone's in my house." I followed the protocol. I asked if she was safe, if she could speak freely. She said yes. I told her I was notifying emergency services while we stayed on the line. I dispatched a police welfare check through our system, flagged the ticket as priority, and kept her on the line. She was calm, strangely calm for someone reporting an intruder. She spoke in a low voice and told me she was in her bedroom closet with the door closed. She'd heard a sound downstairs. Her husband was traveling. We stayed on the line for 11 minutes. The police arrived, cleared the house, found nothing. No sign of forced entry. The responding officer spoke to her briefly. She confirmed everything was fine, and the call ended. I closed the ticket. That should have been the end of it. The calls kept coming and I moved through the rest of the shift without thinking about it much. What stayed with me came later, about 3 weeks later, when I was on a slower night and found myself browsing back through my old ticket log. I don't know exactly why I pulled up Deborah's account. Slow shift, habit of mind. But when I looked at the account history, I found something in the activity log that I couldn't reconcile with the call I remembered. The alarm system at her residence had logged a motion event in the living room at 3:38 a.m., 2 minutes before my call came in. That was consistent with what she described, but there was a second entry, time-stamped at 3:51 a.m., while she and I were still on the line with her in the closet. Another motion event. Different zone, upstairs hallway. I sat with that for a long time. I pulled the call recording. You could hear her breathing steadily, quietly, the whole time. She never mentioned hearing anything else after the initial sound. At 3:51, if I listened closely to the recording, she was mid-sentence describing the layout of her ground floor to me. Calm, normal, cooperative, and the system was logging a motion event in the hallway directly outside her closet. The police had cleared the house. Nothing was found. Whatever triggered the motion sensor, and those sensors had a history of false triggers from pets, drafts, anything, had no confirmed source. I didn't contact Deborah. I didn't flag the ticket again. My supervisor had already reviewed the call and noted it as handled correctly. I closed the tab and got back to my queue. I've thought about it a lot since. About what it would mean to be in a closet, in the dark, keeping your voice steady and calm on the phone with a stranger, while something moved in the hallway outside the door you were pressed against. Whether you would know, whether you would choose not to say anything, whether staying still and quiet and pretending you didn't hear it was the only plan you had left. I don't know what was in that hallway. I don't know if Deborah knew. The account has been inactive since that night. I've never found a reason to look further than that.